Summit at the CCK. Thank you all for joining us this two-day event here in Buenos Aires. My name is Martin Wulich, and I will be your host during this event. We are in the CCK. This building was first opened in 1928 and became the Buenos Aires Central Post Office. It was reopened recently in 2015 after 6 years of renovations and has become a modern and diverse space dedicated to art, music, and education. One of its auditoriums is the Blue Whale, a concert hall for classical music, which can seat up to 1,750 people that is covered in metal fabric. Another impressive room is the Sala Argentina, where we are now. And this is the chamber music room, which can seat up to 500 people. Now, what is exactly the T20? Since its creation, the primary goal of the Think 20, T20, has been to develop concise, research-based policy recommendations to enable a broader vision in directing the G20 policy-making process. As the world is experiencing some of the most impactful changes in history, the T20 seeks to demonstrate that technical knowledge is at the service of the world's population and countries' growth and development. It is our duty to think, produce evidence, and actively look for new solutions in order to achieve an economically prosperous, environmentally sustainable, and socially inclusive future. The two think tanks mandated by the Argentine government to organize the T20 this year are the Argentine Council for International Relations, known as CARI, and the Center for the Implementation of Public Policies Promoting Equity and Growth, known as CIPPEC. CARI is a non-profit private academic institution that was created in 1978 to stimulate the study and debate of international problems with a national focus in mind and to analyze various aspects of international relations. Its ultimate goal is to build peace and to foster the development of citizens through a closer link and a greater reciprocal understanding. CIPPEC is a non-profit, impartial, independent organization that offers recommendations to construct better public policies. It aims to strengthen Argentine democracy through these policies and to anticipate future problems of applied investigations and open dialogue. Joining these two organizations in the T20 are 150 think tanks from around the world from over 60 countries. At this 2 days event, we have nearly 200 speakers who are experts from the main think tanks of the world, Argentine government officials, representatives from international organizations, and the business community. During this 2-day summit, they will take part in 54 sessions and represent 68 countries from around the world. The T20 summit is an opportunity to strengthen the discussions on Think 20 relevant topics and to look to the future of the open and independent network of think tanks. In a few minutes, the T20 will also hand over the Communiqué to the President of Argentina, Mr. Mauricio Macri, which is a document containing the engagement group's vision on global governance and its public policy recommendations. In the audience, you can find the co-chairs of the T20 Task Force's Advisory Board members and the T20 team waiting to give the President the document signed by them all, which is an overview of the work carried out throughout the year. To start us off, we have two representatives who would like to share some welcome remarks to formally begin our summit. They are José María Lladós, Executive Director of CARI, and Julia Pomares, Executive Director of CIPPEC. Please help me in welcoming them to the stage.
Thank you, Martin. Dear friends and colleagues, good morning and welcome to this final stage of our presidency of the T20. Happily, final step. You know, this is the final step, as I said, of a very rich and demanding process. I want to thank everyone who has been involved in it. In particular, the work of the co-chairs and the task force members should be praised for their dedication over the year and their invaluable contributions to the ideas and policy proposals that we will be discussing this meeting. I also want to acknowledge the joint work done by CARI and CIPPEC teams during the period of the Argentine presidency. Finally, I want to thank all of you for being here today to discuss and exchange ideas about the most pressing issues and challenges that our world is facing today. As we all know, the T20 was created as an initiative of the G20 Mexican presidency in 2012, and we have the honor of having Andrés Rosenthal here with us, who is, I would say, responsible for this. I wouldn't use another adjective for that. In that year, only institutes, Andrés, you correct me if I'm wrong, only institutes from 15 countries were represented in the summit. Throughout the years, each one of the different institutions that share the T20 contributed to improve the organizational structure, thematic content, and scope of this engagement group. Our presidency considers that this institutionalization process, which is also the result of the work done by the whole T20 community, is a very valuable accomplishment. In this sense, I want to recognize the generosity of the German presidency, which introduced the very useful task force structure to the T20 and cooperated with us through our presidency. Furthermore, I want to extend our best wishes to the future chair from Japan that will surely continue with the steady path of our predecessors. The current T20 geographical breadth and number of participants is worth mentioning. Just to give you some facts about this T20 edition, I remark that more than 1,000 participants from at least 76 different nationalities have confirmed their attendance. 31 international institutions and 15 United Nations specialized agencies will take part in the summit. 176 speakers from all regions of the world will illustrate us on the most important current issues and challenges. We must continue along this path to further increase the diversity and expansion of our community. The work done during our presidency allows us to reach one key conclusion. The T20 community points that we currently face global problems which need global solutions. Consistently, this will require cooperative responses and institutions that are capable of generating stable commitments. Nevertheless, several challenges to multilateralism have arisen, and multilateral institutions are having a hard time achieving cooperation. It's our role as an idea bank of the G20 to contribute with concrete policy-based recommendations to the discussion that will be held in the Leaders' Summit, while also supporting and strengthening the global policy debate. In an increasingly interconnected society, building knowledge, communities, and networks of actors sharing experiences is essential to improve the policy-making process. This influence, however, should go along with innovative change. We must promote constructive but also courageous and practical recommendations based on theoretical arguments. This task is not easy. It will demand time and effort. The goals already achieved However, allow me to be confident that the T20 process will be capable of facing this challenge in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Gracias. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us in Buenos Aires for the T20 Summit. We are living in times of unprecedented changes. You know that the satisfaction with globalization is no longer limited to developing countries from Argentina or other emerging markets. It has now spread to advanced nations. Years of successful international cooperation have given way to disagreements about trade, about technology, and about the environment. The G20 was successful in handling the global financial crisis of 2008 and also in containing its aftershocks. Since then, the G20 played a fundamental role in promoting international financial stability. But, and unfortunately, and despite the importance of today's global challenges, the world does not seem to perceive them with the same sense of urgency as 10 years ago. Climate change, food security, the distribution of the costs and benefits of trade and technology, and also inequality are global challenges that create negative externalities. The current scenario calls for a collaborative enterprise. And honestly, I couldn't think of a more important time to have a T20 summit than today here. We believe, and that is what you're going to read in our communiqué in some minutes when we hand it to President Macri, 3 overarching goals that we believe should guide the work of the G20. First, redesigning the multilateral trading system. The G20 should initiate a dialogue to redesign the WTO and prevent increases in recent trade frictions. The main aim, according to our knowledge so far, is helping societies to adapt to the productive, technological, and social challenges of the 21st century. A creative agreement between G20 leaders prioritizing the principle of cooperation would help start the much-needed reform of the WTO. A second and very urgent goal is to fulfill the Paris Agreement. The G20 needs to play a central part in the fight against climate change. You all know here in this room, if current trends continue, global warming will exceed the 2 Celsius limit to temperature increase by 2050. Only immediate cooperative action on the part of the international community and led by the G20 countries can reverse this situation. And a third goal, and we know it is very ambitious, we need to promote a new social contract, and the role of the G20 is key. Inequality is another major source of global social frustrations, and we know that this is a real problem, and not only in emerging economies. These 3 goals are very hard to achieve, but we think that the G20 gathers 3 unique features to succeed: representativeness, diversity, and flexibility. And that is why it makes this the best international forum in which to encourage multilateral cooperation and to promote actions for a more prosperous and sustainable world. The problems are quite big. And I think we all here, we are not to dwell. We think think tanks need to step up to the challenge and show that technical knowledge is at the service of building consensus. But you know what? I think we need to abandon the comfort zone of the technocratic analysis and involve in the global conversation. Here today, in this building, there are more than 1,000 thinkers from 68 countries. And let me also point that 38 are developing countries. The T20 has consolidated as a strong and diverse network of think tanks. It is a very powerful global tool. And we also face threats, from fake news to having concentration of data in a few hands. But throughout the year, we provided critical analysis on several global issues. We produced over 80 policy briefs. They were all peer-reviewed with a very important support of the T20 community, and then summarized in the Communiqué. We're going to hand it in a minute. Let me finish by telling you, and quoting Yuval Harari, in his latest books, he said, "We went out of narratives. During the 20th century, we humans were offered 3 global narratives: fascism, communism, and liberalism. The 3 were alive in 1938. In 1968, there were just 2. And by 1998, it seemed that one narrative, liberalism, was the only global narrative in place. But today, in 2018, we are all astonished by the fact that it is under strong attack. And we need to find responses to new problems and to promote a more inclusive world. I think that should be the core of our mission as think tanks, and I hope we carry out working on this path. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. José María Lladós, Director of CARI, and Mrs. Julia Pomares, Executive Director of CIPPEC. The President of Argentina, Mauricio Macri, is on his way, just a few minutes to arrive. In the meantime, you will be pleased to hear that there is Wi-Fi available. Here at the CCK, the network is called T20 Summit, and the password is 220 Argentina, all in lowercase letters. Feel free to join in the tweeting today. You can find us as @T20 Solutions on Twitter. We are also on Facebook under the same name, and as T20 Argentina on LinkedIn. Don't forget to use hashtag T20 Argentina if you post something. Just a couple of minutes, and Mr. President will be with us. It is an honor for the T20 Argentina to welcome to the stage the President of the Argentine Republic, Mauricio Macri. The Presidents of CARI and CIPPEC, Adalberto, Rodríguez, Giavarini, and Jorge Mandelbaum, will present him the T20 Communiqué. Please welcome the President to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. I'm really very glad to host you all in Buenos Aires once again, and especially willing to continue working together. Ya estamos en la recta final de la presidencia argentina del G20 y estamos muy entusiasmados con el trabajo y los avances que hemos logrado hasta el momento. Quiero decir que los miembros del G20 han apoyado ampliamente las prioridades que propusimos, debatieron todos los temas y sugirieron pasos concretos para que los podamos considerar en la cumbre de líderes de noviembre. Como saben, el espíritu que guía la presidencia, nuestra presidencia, es la construcción de consenso. Y quiero detenerme especialmente en este punto. Lo que queremos es demostrar que nuestra mirada del siglo XXI puede actuar como un puente en la diversidad y poniendo siempre las necesidades de la gente en el primer plano. Buscamos que el G20 siga siendo protagonista como un espacio de coordinación para construir sobre preocupaciones compartidas e intereses comunes. Puede que los desafíos que nos convocan hoy no sean los mismos que nos convoquen en el futuro, pero la clave siempre será la manera en que los enfrentamos. El pasado ya nos demostró que cuando hay cooperación y cuando hay diálogo, hay oportunidad. Es clave que enviemos un mensaje contundente de que todos somos capaces de construir consensos. Consensos que nos permitan impulsar acciones colectivas y que además somos capaces de llevarlas adelante. Es hora de mostrar que la cooperación internacional puede permitirnos construir un futuro mejor. En este camino, el rol de los grupos de afinidad es fundamental. Son ustedes quienes nos acercan a una nueva perspectiva a este proceso de diálogo que estamos llevando adelante de cara a la sociedad civil, no de espaldas a ella. Porque las soluciones globales requieren el compromiso y la acción no solo de los gobiernos, sino de todos los sectores de la sociedad. Porque si queremos enfrentar los desafíos que tenemos en común, todos debemos hacer nuestra parte. Se trata de una construcción colectiva. Por eso es tan importante que sus aportes sean recomendaciones concretas y orientadas a la acción. Esta es la piedra fundamental, angular de su legado. Es la única manera de tener un impacto positivo en la realidad. El fin último de todo este ejercicio es construir entre todos un futuro mejor para nuestra gente. Tenemos que darles respuestas y soluciones a las personas que quieren desatar todo su potencial, que quieren beneficiarse de la revolución tecnológica, que quieren un mundo mejor para sus hijos. Por eso hoy vine a recibir el paquete de políticas con las recomendaciones que prepararon después de tantos meses de trabajo. Sé que han abordado casi todos los temas de la agenda del G20 programados para este año. Y estoy seguro de que sus documentos serán un aporte constructivo para el trabajo que queda por delante. Les agradezco nuevamente y los invito a que todos sigamos poniendo todo nuestro esfuerzo para que el G20 sea un verdadero éxito. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
We would like to thank President Mauricio Macri for taking part in this T20 summit and receiving the communiqué. All attendees today can pick up a copy of the communiqué in the foyer of the Sala Argentina. Additionally, you can download it from the T20 Argentina website. This event would not have been possible without the help of our sponsors. They are PricewaterhouseCoopers, the Asian Development Bank, the Development Bank of Latin America, the German Development Institute, Emerging Market Sustainability Dialogues, the Friedrich Ebert Foundation, the Friedrich Naumann Foundation, the German Corporation for International Cooperation, the International Development Research Center, the Inter-American Development Bank, the Institute for the Integration of Latin America and the Caribbean, Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, the Kiel Institute for the World Economy, the Real Instituto Elcano, the United Nations Industrial Development Organizations, the World Bank Group, Accenture, Aerolíneas Argentinas, BBVA francés, Grupo Peñaflor, Pampa Energía, Puente, Quilmes, and Bodega Vistalba. Lastly, we also want to express our gratitude to the G20 Argentina 2018. Throughout the day, there will be various parallel sessions and side events which will take place in different rooms throughout the building. We will mention when the sessions are about to start, but please check your program for more information on when and where they will take place. If you need help finding the room, feel free to ask a member of the T20 staff. Finally, we would also like to mention there will be a live stream of all the sessions that take place in the Sala Argentina here, this room, which will be available in our website. These are the announcements so far. It is now time for the first keynote session of the summit. The panelists are José Antonio Ocampo, Vera Sungui, and Thomas Straubhaar. Please welcome the moderator for the keynote conversation, Félix Peña, Vice President of CARI, to the stage.